So welcome everyone to today's session on link overview. So I'm gonna give you a very brief introduction towards the link architecture and how link can be written for various types of database. This is a very basic session for those who is using or seeing link for the first time, to give you kind of wow idea towards its powerfulness, uniformity and conciseness. So thank you very much again for joining today's session. Let me take you to the Visual Studio 2008 and walk you through some of the samples in front of you by writing some of the code. So first let me open my Visual Studio. Now let me create a new project taking Windows .NET Framework 3.5 console application, and I'll say it link overview. Now this will load up the application. This is just a console kind of application, so nothing great about it. Now let's assume, as you all know, that we have introduced generics in Framework 2.0 with the Visual Studio 2005, and I'll be using one of the generic list of type integer, which holds integers starting from 1 to 10. Now my task is to figure out the values from which are even. So what I have to do here, to do that I have to do a lot of other things to be able to find out this, either by calling delegate, by using anonymous method, etc. In link, what we can do, we can actually write query-like syntax to figure out things by passing where condition to it, and that where condition will behave as if this set of data is coming from relational database column. So if you have a table containing one column which holds all the values, you can write where condition in your select statement, and this will give you the value as per what you have written in the select statement. Similar to that, if I get the output, which always will be giving me the enumerable of the type where I'm working or what I'm getting. Let's say if I say query and say from, and link always starts with the keyword from, not with the select, because it's programming language. So we need to first declare a variable, and that way I can declare a variable. So from I in array int tells me that I is of type element within the array int. So obviously I is of type integer, so defining the source. Then my where condition will look like similar to this. Now you say how much to, purely programming language equals 0, then you select the new set of I. So it gives me I enumerable set. So now I can run a for each loop for all the integers within this query, let's say k in query, and then print them out in the console. So if I say k and then hit F5, it'll show you list of integers from that array, which is nothing but the set of even numbers. Now you can actually put other standard query operators, let's say order by I descending, so it'll be sorted now. So you can do all kind of sorting, grouping, filtering, all sort of things you can imagine today with any kind of data, relational database data. Now this could be a little difficult for the people who are starting link for the first time. So you can use var. Var is a new keyword in C# 3.0, which allows us to declare a variable if you locally, if you are assigning the value at the same time. So it will give you, this side will give you enumerable of type I. So your query will be of type enumerable of I when you compile this code. So it will be decided in time when you compile. Now I'll just keep this query in front of you for future purpose. Now I'll write another query using the var keyword, say query equals to. Now this is what I'm doing with in-memory object, that is list of integers. I can do query against in-memory object, bring things into in-memory object, and then query against it, for example the task manager. So set up processes which you run into your local machine comes up into your task manager. Now you need to figure out them by writing setup APIs available within .NET Framework. So one of them would be from pn system.diagnostics.processes.get processes, which will give you the list of processes. Then you say select p.name. This will give you set of processes. So that's process name. Now if you say set up process name and then you bring things together, now you just run the same query without changing anything at all into your for each statement. Hopefully this should work fine. Now this doesn't really return integer. It returns the process name, which is of type string, so it returns enumerable string. So you need to convert it to string. So if you get rid of all this kind of conversion every time you go ahead and say var, it will give you a list of processes into your console window. I'll just close this out and say I need to filter it out by saying where p dot threads dot count is more than 9, let's say. So only the processes which are having threads more than 9 will be in my console. So very few. If I increase the number, there'll be very less amount of process running into my machine with more than thread number 20. If you want to get multi-column output from the link, you can use anonymous type by mentioning the property alias, and another property is count is nothing but the thread count, so I can say p.threads.count, which is property gain. And now I need to give an output format, or else if I just execute this, it'll give you the same output. So let me finish it with a semicolon. If I run it, you'll get a different output. So not only the name, it also gives you the number of threads for each of these processes. So for better view, I can put count before name because count is fixed somehow, so it'll have the better option in terms of viewing it in console. If you load it to a data grid, then obviously it'll be formatted and it'll be more nicer in terms of viewing it. Now you can also do sorting, grouping, everything. So if you want to group them together as per their name, you can go ahead and do it. Now I would like to query against another set of data, that is your metadata information. So when you actually provide the XML documentation by mentioning summary tag in your application, you compile that assembly, you get separate XML file along with the assembly, which is nothing but the documentation which you have provided in the summary tag. Similar to that, if you wanted to do things and extract the information, you have to implement the reflection. We allow you to do that, but reflection is something where you need to write the mini code, and we have brought that reflection into our link, and you can use reflection and combine link together, figure it out, many things quickly and easily. One of the classic examples which Anders have given us in TechRepublic is what I'm writing. So the query equals to, I'll say now I'm getting data from metadata, so I'll say type of the type string, and I'll say get methods. So when I say get methods, and then if I say, let's say select s.name, this will give me list of methods within the string name. You will get all this list in your object browser window. Repeat mainly because you have overload, so you will find many things. So if you want to get rid of the repeats and group them together, you can also do grouping, which is very common in relational database scenario. So if I say, let's put also the filter condition where it is not s dot is static, and if I say group s by s dot name into, let's say G, so it'll be grouped into G. Now I can also use the anonymous type to get the multi-column output, so I'll say name equals to, I can put count equals to g dot count and name equals to g dot key, because by name I have grouped them. So the key value here, and then it becomes like this. Now if you run this, you'll find the number of overloads for each of the processes, and they don't have any repeat because I have done the grouping. Now the condition after condition, because I have provided where once, I can provide where one more. So if I say let is a way where you can create variable. So you can say let cnt equals to g dot count. That will, I'm just storing the count into cnt variable. Now I can use them saying cnt. I don't have to call count again and again. Count greater than 2, and I can use also cnt instead of calling count again here by saying cnt. So it's one place. Now you'll be able to see the list of things coming together, and if you want to order them by saying order by cnt dot descending, now it will be sorted according to the count, and that's much easier for us to view, figure out how many methods we have for index of, split, equals to, ends with, etc., etc. So that's the full list of overloaded method, lives within string namespace, string type, along with the number of overloads. So it's the kind of data which, if you have to, you can get this information using reflection that's available already from the very starting of our .NET framework. But if you have to achieve this kind of scenario, you have to write many codes. Now notice here, it's single liner code which I have written so far up to this point. So not much thing you have to do here to be able to get the value from objects. So this is the first session which I was about to tell you regarding how you can write link for object kind of data sources. So thank you very much, and you have a wonderful day.